Hi guys, this is Tina from Shabbydabbydoodah. Welcome back to my channel. So we're here for another one of our countdown to Christmas in the Advent Calendar series, and we are up to day number 17. So my items today are going to be these kits. Now they're completely different, but they're much smaller kits than the other kits that I have been offering. So these are a much smaller scale kit. So I'm going to show you them one at a time. So I'll show you this one first. Now I may list these separately in my Etsy shop because they're very, very different, in styles. So yeah, one is kind of like vintage children's books and the other one is just vintage style. So yeah, I will probably list these separately. So kit number one, and as I say, these are much smaller kits, so obviously they're going to be at a lower price point than the larger kits that I've been offering on previous days. So this is in some a pouch made from some vintage sheet music cover. No, sorry, it's made from printable, but it's covered with vintage sheet music cover. So it's got lots of kind of collaged vintage sheet music there. It's got an image here from a vintage book, just with this little bird, and then you've got lots of lace and things. You've got some bling, and then you've got a little flower here and a little kind of glittered center there. We've done those on a video. And then attached with a bulb pin, you've got a couple of fabric flowers, so handmade fabric flowers there. And they're in kind of fun, gorgeous colours there, because this is the inside, it contains vintage children's book images, which I just think go really nicely with these kind of like brighter coloured flowers. And then you've got a couple of fabric ruffles. Now these are very tiny pieces of fabric ruffle here, but you've got two of them there. One is white with sort of pale greeny colours, and the other one is just ivory. And this is a different style of fabric ruffle, so it's not kind of like rough ruffled, it's more kind of pleated ruffle, if that makes sense. And then also attached with another bulb pin is you've got a couple of my little ribbon thingamybobs. I don't know what you call these, so I'm just going to go with thingamybobs with the wax seals on there. And then you've also got a couple of little bows there that I've obviously just, tied myself. So a few little, pieces attached with bulb pins there. So of course you could obviously use the, the packaging itself. You could obviously, deconstruct it, cut it around, or, however you wanted to do to use that. You could just punch holes in it and use it in a ring-bound journal, however you like. And then the kit itself, or, the items contained inside, you've got a couple of little paper clips. Now, these are rusted paper clips, so they've been rusted. And then they've got the ribbon banners and, bits of lace and flowers and things. We did these on a video. So you've got those two paper clips, you've got a faux postage stamp, which again, I think we did this on video. And then the kind of main pieces of ephemera of the kit are, you've got this collage masterboard. So this is collage masterboard onto a book page. So obviously the backs are not plain. I just want to point that out for just in case, you thought you'd use it as, pop-in pieces. You'd have to gesso over the back, or, paint over the back, or cover it or something like that. But these are collage masterboard. You've got some vintage wallpaper there. And all of the pieces, I think I'm right in saying, all of the pieces on the collage masterboard are genuine vintage pieces of ephemera. So you've got kind of vintage letter, vintage ledger, vintage wallpaper, all sorts of different things. And then these main images here with the gorgeous rabbits, they're from a vintage children's book. And then you've got, additions like lace and ribbon and things like that. So here you've got one of my bookplate printables there. And then you've got, that's the coloured bookplate printables, sorry. And then you've got flowers on there and little ribbons and things. So that's that one. Then you've got a larger one here. I love this one with this brown ribbon. It just looks so pretty. And then you've got some ribbon down here and a flat back pearl. And then you've got a couple of labels there from my Junk Journal Basics kit. Now, all of these, I would just kind of glue them on like 3 sides, and then you'd have a side loading pocket with that to attach onto your page. I've got this one here, absolutely just love how this looks. And you've got one of these bright butterflies from my Bright Butterfly printables, but it's been stapled on here sideways on, which, how cool does that look? I just love how that looks on there. And then you've just got some ruffled up ribbon at the top, and then one of my bow printables there again, just stapled on. Now this is just help with the staple, and as you can see, that bow is kind of moving, so you know, whoever gets it, you may want to just dab a little dab of glue on there just to kind of make sure it's fixed properly. I'm sure it is, but you know, just to kind of be on the safe side. This one here, again, it's just the same collage masterboard, and then again the gorgeous children's book images, a couple of vintage postage stamps on there, a couple of flowers, another one of those ribbon thingamybobs as we're calling them now, and a wax seal, and then you've got a little tab on the side just to kind of give that a bit of a different look. So love how that looks. And then here you've got another piece, which this one, again, I have actually done a video completing this, or, you know, making these pieces of ephemera. So that will be coming in the new year. But this is what I would call an extended piece. So the actual piece of masterboard wasn't particularly roomy or particularly big. So we've extended it by putting another piece of paper on here. And that video will be coming up in the new year. Another one of those ribbon thingamybobs and another wax seal. And then you've got some stapled paper ruffle there, which I just love how that looks. And then of course, obviously the vintage piece there, a label from my Junk Journal Basics kit. And then this, it was just from some vintage sheet music there. So as you can see, obviously, you know, a much smaller kit, but some yummy, lovely pieces to put into your journals. And obviously it's, you know, at a much lower price point. But it's kind of giving you a starting point for building the rest of your journal. So you could kind of take this as your kind of colour scheme to base the rest of your journal, or, you know, you may prefer to just have all kind of random pieces. But that's the kit number 1. And then kit number 2, I'm just going to have a sip of my tea, hold on. Kit number 2 is, I can't actually even remember what this was. I think this was a kind of cover for some sheet music, some vintage sheet music, and yeah, it's in this, I think it's faux leather, it could be real leather, I don't know. But basically what I did was I obviously cut it down, and then I've glued in some paper onto the inside, and then on the outside left the back plain, so just love how that looks. And then we've got some lace trim going down there, lots of lace on the front all collaged up, a little you know, fabric ruffle there, a fabric tag here, you know, with a couple of flowers, and then you've just got attached with a bulb pin a couple of tiny bits. So you've got a little flower there and a tiny you know, hand tied bow. Then here you've got one of my little jabos there that we've done on a you know, video for that. And oh sorry, and lastly you've got with another bulb pin just a flower attached on that side. And then when you open this up, all it is basically I've put some fabric here to form a couple of pockets. So you've got a pocket this side and a pocket this side. We've got a little flower here and some lace trim. Some of this is that burlap, but it's a kind of sparkly burlap. And then inside the pockets, they're obviously quite roomy pockets because they're fabric. So they're, you know, they're stretchy and able to give a bit. I just stitched it down the middle, you know, just to hold the pockets in place basically. And you've got there a chipboard piece there with some sheet music, and then just this cute little thing saying sweet, a little velvet kind of fabric yo-yo there. And then here you've just got some pieces collaged up. So I mean, again, you could use this in your journals. You could actually use this as a journal cover. It would make a wonderful journal cover. You know, you could just stitch your signatures straight in to there. So you've got options again to do that, or of course you could deconstruct it, you could tear things off and use them, you know, as you wish, but it's really pretty, isn't it? And then inside there you've got a few different pieces. So you've got here, this is just some vintage book page, and then you've got some collaged items up on the front there and some coffee dyed paper pieces in the front, in the middle for journaling. So that's that piece. Then here you've got, this is a large pocket, which again, you could just glue on this, this and this. These are, you know, little flaps. And then you've got various different pieces. So you've got one of my dictionary definitions, and then you've got some snippet roll there, which has been stitched on the sewing machine. It's just been stuck onto here. And then some lace trim at the bottom and some lace trim here. And obviously you've got some faux diamante on there as well. So it's very vintage themed, this particular kit. And then here you've got a, you know, what I would call a floating pocket. So it's a massive pocket that you can obviously just clip in with a paper clip into your journals and move it around. And then what I did was I just attached one of those, you know, decorative side strips with a butterfly and things. And I've attached it like a little pocket onto the floating pocket, if you see what I mean. Well, it's actually a belly band. So as you can see, that kind of goes right the way through. And then you've got a little tab on there as well. So just for, you know, decorative kind of detail. And then you've got another one of those thingy-bobs, as we're calling them now, with the ribbon. And that's got a little cabochon, you know, in the centre with a domed piece and a little bit of printable in there. I just love how that looks. And then you've got some lace trim on the bottom. And then a little journal card there with some collage pieces. And that all just slots in like that. And then here you've got, oops, an altered paper clip with some lace trim. And then here you've got just a flippy piece. So you can obviously journal on here. You could journal on here. This is obviously just coffee dyed paper. And then here you've got another piece, which actually is another pocket. So of course you could put something in there. One of my number tabs, and then some lace and a little flower down there. So, oh, it's just really super pretty. And it's got all of those, you know, pink flowers, which are all obviously, you know, tying it all in together. Then you've got here another little piece of collage masterboard with some bits and bobs layered up on there and some lace trim. Again, I would just kind of glue this on 3 sides and use it as a pocket. If you wanted to use it as a journal card, you could. Obviously, you would just need to either, you know, back this onto some coffee dyed paper, or of course you could just gesso or paint over the back there. And then I've got this little fold out piece. So you've got a couple of pockets in here. And then this is some vintage book page. I do apologise because it's not obviously been glued properly there. So we've got a sort of air bubble in there. But I mean, hopefully it doesn't really detract from it. A couple of labels there for journaling. And then this gorgeous bird. This is just from the Spring Birds kit on the front. So really nice. And this kit is quite grunged up. You know, I've inked all the bits really nicely. So that's that one. And then finally, you get this little piece here, which again, this is one of those pockets we made in the mass making. So you've got all these different pockets going on here. And then again, if I was gluing this down, I'd maybe glue it on 3 sides. You could have a side loading pocket and then 1, 2, 3 pockets in there. And again, this has just got some of my, you know, coloured umbrella printables and my bright butterfly printables on there. And then you've just got a little flower and some lace. So really super pretty. I have just noticed that one's not been inked up, to be honest. So that's the only piece that's not particularly grungy, but I think it does go really nicely with all the other pieces anyway. So, you know, I don't think it really needs to be grunged up. So that's all the pieces that you get in kit number 2. So as I say, they are obviously much smaller than the kits that I've featured in the other days. But, you know, I wanted to include obviously things for different price points because I did sort of promise to do that. So obviously this is a much smaller kit, but, you know, it's maybe more affordable. Well, I mean, hopefully is more affordable than the other kits. So, yeah, I really hope that you like them. Like I say, I will list them separately because they are very, very different. But, yeah, I really hope that you like them. And thank you so much for watching. And I will see you guys tomorrow for tomorrow's advent calendar offering. So thank you so much and have a great day, everyone. Bye.